Welcome to another edition of Wings Weekly. Jake Line Connect here, of course, with head coach Scott Langer. Coach, pretty solid weekend, of course. So here at the ODI Center, great crowds on hand. End up getting some bonus hockey on Friday night with a shootout loss, unfortunately 3-2 against the Wilderness, and the first time seeing them. When we talked Saturday night before the game, you kind of mentioned that it wasn't really a game that you felt like it was your best game by any means. What did you guys take away from Friday night's matchup?
I just think that we couldn't get any bounces generated our way, and it's obviously you have to generate your own bounces, but it just the puck just wasn't bouncing our way that game, and they made a couple of really nice plays off the rush to get their 2 goals, and it was great to see Cade Nielsen respond with the tying goal there in the third, but it was just. They're a fast team. They were coming off playing a few games. We were coming off an off weekend. But, I guess the big thing is we salvaged the point in that game, and we were able to move on to Saturday.
Well, like you mentioned, being able to get 3 out of 4 points possible on the weekend, certainly not the worst case scenario. But the bounces and puck luck was definitely something that kind of occurred to me. I know there was one point where a puck rolled down Johnson's back and looked like it was about to cross the goal line, and he just at the last moment reached back, and I thought to myself, that's one of those things, why doesn't that have a little more speed on it? And that's a goal. So definitely some puck luck, some bounces that didn't go your way, some turnovers and stuff that you said that you wanted to clean up. Did you feel like Saturday you guys were able to do that?
Well, I can tell you when we got to the third period, we were looking like our old team. Mm-hmm. Things were really clicking. We were playing with a lot of speed. I thought the first 2 periods we were just okay, but the third period I thought we really tipped the ice against them, and we were physical, and we were making plays again, and obviously we scored a couple goals to get the win, and I thought our guys were really motivated. Obviously the night before, the unprofessionalism of them coming by the bench, blowing us kisses and given to us pretty good. I thought our guys held it together emotionally and came out with a solid win on Saturday.
A 3-1 win, and you mentioned it, that you were physical in the third period and so on. I thought really over the whole weekend there was a pretty physical matchup, both sides, that actually kind of surprised me a little bit from 2 skilled and quick teams. Was that something that you guys kind of planned for?
Well, I think they were playing with a lot of enthusiasm. Mm-hmm. Let's just say that. Obviously they were playing a team that hasn't lost that many games this season, and they sure played like it. They had a lot of energy against us, and I think they thought that they could run us over a little bit and run us out of the rink, and at times they were really good. But I thought our guys did, like I said, coming off the off weekend, and it's never the best. Sometimes it can be awesome, sometimes it can be really tough.
Right.
We just didn't get our feet moving throughout that entire game.
On both Friday and Saturday night combined, end up going 0-10 on the power play. You've got 24.2% power play right now, third best in the league. Your kill, top in the league by a stretch, 95.3%. Didn't allow any power play goals either. Both teams kind of struggling on the power play. What do you attribute that to? At least over the weekend there, I mean.
Well, there was definitely some really good goaltending on their side.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that their goaltending was outstanding against our power play, but power play is funny. It's either going or it's not,
yeah.
and everybody thinks that because you're up a guy that it just should be easy, and they're a team that really likes to pack it in against you, and it really forces you to try to get pucks through and get guys to the net. And I thought they did a good job of keeping us on the perimeter. So it's definitely something we need to work on heading into Austin. We're a team that needs our power play to win hockey games, and I know Coach Hill will be on that starting tomorrow.
No doubt. Well, as I mentioned, the penalty kill on the flip side, 95.3%, best in the league. It continues to impress. Just a tenacious kill unit that is putting pressure on and creating opportunities shorthanded too. Not just killing it, but they're actually getting some good scoring chances. What's working so well on the kill side?
Well, we have some players that are rather intelligent, and it takes a real disciplined guy and an intelligent hockey player to kill penalties, and there's a lot of different looks we throw at teams depending on what sure. they're doing on their power play, and our guys have been really good of being consistent when we do make changes. They apply it well, and they see, our big thing is when we get a penalty kill, we want it to get our bench going. We want the momentum to swing our side. One of the worst things for a team is to have your power play not click. It really drains your bench, and I think you've seen a little bit of that for us on Friday night, with big opportunities on the power play to kind of get that game under wraps for us, and we just couldn't find a way to capitalize. So, but the penalty kill, the guys have done a really good job, and I've utilized a lot of personnel. A lot of guys are chipping in on the penalty kill, and being at around 95 is pretty damn good.
Yeah, it surely is. Well, you talked about consistency in the kill, but as a team, even throughout, as the season goes along, there's some ups and downs, some ebb and flow, so to speak. And you talked about it, that maybe Friday night wasn't really a Wings hockey game, the kind of game that this team wants to put together. What's the difference? What do you think that is? Is it a mindset? Is it a style of play that you're going against? Is it something in between the years, I guess? What do you suppose it is?
I think it's all of that.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's when guys are playing and they're in a groove playing, obviously mentally they're in some structure, and then you throw in an off weekend, it can throw you off a little bit. But I didn't think our preparation was the greatest either.
Okay.
Heading into the weekend, it was just kind of one of those weeks where it's a long season, and this year it's gotten even longer. And you're going to have ups and downs with your team, and you hopefully that you can stay as consistent as possible and
Sure.
keep them motivated. But it's not easy, and But the thing is with this group is they've still only lost one game in regulation. So I think when we do lose a game, it's rather dramatic on the outside, because people aren't used to seeing us lose hockey games. But it's a long year. We're gonna suffer some setbacks, and the good thing about this group is they came in here Saturday morning and they prepared from the time they came in the stretch to the video to the time they went home to prepare for the game. They came back in with the right mental set, and they played an outstanding hockey game on Saturday. So I think that's what we take away from it, that they responded. They weren't happy with what they produced on Friday night.
Yeah, to be able to respond and kind of rally that way shows a lot of strength and a lot of character in a team for sure. I mean, like you said, 47 points out of a possible 50. That's pretty darn good. So it's certainly not the sky is falling. I was just kind of curious about the way. I don't know. I guess the way that things can change from night to night or game to game. You've got Austin coming up on the road. They are 6-10, 2-2 right now. Austin is a team that's been playing quite a bit, so there's some film out there, I would imagine. What have you seen from the Bruins?
Yeah, they're a big squad, and I think they're pretty good defensively. Their goaltenders can get pretty hot, but I think they're at home. They're really good. Yeah. They've done a really good job playing at home. So, it's a team we haven't seen in a while. So again, they're going to be up to play us. The good thing for us is we're going on the road, and I think it's time we do that. We've played quite a few games at home, and we love it here. But it's time to kind of just be together as a team and a family, and spend some time on the road and win some games on the road, because those are fun.
Yeah, they surely are. Any keys that you see that you want to see out of your team against the Bruins?
Well, excuse me. Well, I think you got to continue to play fast. You got to continue to defend. I mean, even in the game we lost in the shootout, we only gave up 2 goals. We have to continue to defend hard and give ourselves an opportunity to win. And it's not going to be any different against Austin. Austin's a real structured hockey team. Coach Howard has a lot of structure in his game, and his kids play it really well. So we're just going to have to be good. The puck management thing that you and I talked about, that has to get better.
Yeah.
And it comes and goes game to game. Sometimes we're outstanding at it. Sometimes we really struggle. And that has a lot to do with how teams are passionately defending against us. But I just think we need to manage the puck against them, and we need to play good defense.
All right. Well, looking forward to seeing it against the Bruins coming up Friday and Saturday, February 12th and 13th. Puck drop 7:05 both nights. You can watch the game of Buffalo Wings and Rings in Aberdeen or on hockeytv.com and listen to 94.1 The Rock, hubcityradio.com, or the Rock app. And we'll get into more details about the upcoming home game and so on in just a little bit here, too. But, Coach, I appreciate you coming on. That's about all I've got for you. But, again, thanks for your time.
All right, Jay, thanks.
All right, folks, we'll continue on with Wings Weekly with a player coming up after this.
How you move matters. Avera Orthopedics helps you move freely and live life to the fullest with innovative treatment options customized to your bone, muscle, and joint needs. Whether you suffer from aches, breaks, tears, or dislocations, turn to the orthopedic team experienced in treating every body.
Continuing on with Wings Weekly, and as promised, a player joining us in the second portion. And today it's Nathan Mann, or is it Nate? Which do you prefer?
Oh, I prefer Nate.
Okay.
Usually, yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for coming on, Nate. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no problem. From Hilton, New York.
Yeah.
I did a little research. Hilton is a western portion of the state, so you're not like big city kind of. And it's what, 5,000 people roughly?
Yeah, 5,000. Yeah.
Okay, so fairly small.
Yeah.
You bounced around a little bit. Through juniors, I guess, with Corpus Christi last year. So tell us a little bit about how you got started playing hockey, your maybe family life. Did you have some influences that got you started? Mm-hmm. And then your journey to Aberdeen. How'd you get here?
Yeah, I mean, so how I got here, so like you said, I started off I ended the season last year in Corpus. So yeah, and I as we got going through the summer, we ended up finding out that Corpus opted out this year, unfortunately. So what ended up happening was there was a dispersal draft, and on the day of the dispersal draft, I ended up getting a text from Coach Hill, and he's like, "Hey, we picked you up in the draft here," and I was super excited when I got that text. So yeah, I mean that's pretty much how I got here. I'm super excited, and
awesome.
It's been a great year so far.
Yeah, for sure. So when did you get started playing hockey? Usually it's pretty young, I find, but every now and then somebody throws me a curveball and it's a little later than would have expected. Were you one of those guys that was on skates from the age of 3 on, or?
No, I wasn't actually. So I started about when I was 6 years old.
Okay.
And it's a funny story. I have an older brother. He's 2 years older than me, so he was playing hockey at the time. And my parents wanted me to get in there, so they brought me to learn to skate. And then when I was out there on the ice, I had one of those, what do you call it, the little helper thing?
Oh, sure.
The
walker?
Helper. Yeah, the walkers. Yeah. So I was on that, and the instructor's like, "All right, let go of it." So what I did was I let go, and I ended up falling forward, smashed my face on the ice. So after that, I just took a little break because I didn't like hockey at the time.
Sure.
I mean,
you're traumatized.
Bad first experience. So yeah, and then about 2 years later, when I was 8, I just watched my brother play ever since that, and I got back into hockey. So here I am, still playing.
Well, certainly happy to have you. That's for sure.
Yeah.
One of the things when you came to the Wings and started playing and so on. The first couple of games, I guess, I think I heard a lot of people, fans and stuff that I talk with throughout the week or whatever, talking about the physicality that you play with. Yeah. You're one of those guys that seems to kind of embraces that part of the game. Would you agree with that? You like the physical nature of it?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, whenever I get out there, I mean, it's been a part of my game since I started. I just love hitting, love the physical presence. So yeah.
Excellent. Well, a big goal for you on Saturday night, get the Wings on the board coming off a loss. And I got to think a little bit and looking back a little bit at some of your statistics and so on. You've scored a lot of goals in your hockey career. Are there some that are a little more meaningful or that kind of have maybe a little clearer memory of, because that one felt big to me because, as I said, coming off a win or a loss, excuse me, in a shootout, and the team's kind of down in the dumps a little bit, and like Coach said, everybody comes in on Saturday morning ready to work, ready to get back in the win column, and you're the one that puts them on the board. That's got to feel pretty good.
Yeah, honestly, it did feel really good. At the time, it was 0-0, so scoring the first goal there, felt good to get the guys on top, get the momentum going.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, honestly, all the goals that I've had, like preferably I like scoring like when it's a close game.
Yeah.
So if it's like a 2-2 game, I like scoring that third goal, you know, in
Sure.
the third period or something like that. So those goals always feel nice.
For sure. Nice tip in there on Saturday to get the Wings on the board and kind of, because, when you're playing with a lead, it's a little different too, isn't it? I mean, it hasn't been often that you guys have been behind or, like you said, 0-0 or a 1-1 game. And there's been a lot of games where there's been a pretty big discrepancy when it comes to the score. But it kind of just chills everybody out a little bit, and you're kind of holding the stick a little looser when you're playing with a lead, huh?
Yeah.
So big game there for sure. And big goal. Let's see. I always talk to guys about their game day routine and what a game day looks like. How you have your morning skate, and whether it's on the road or at home, whatever. You're going to meet with the team and so on. What do you spend the rest of your day doing on a game day?
So after our pregame skate, usually I go home and I like to just chill out, rest for a little bit. I'll go on my phone, go on YouTube or something like that. But after that, I get ready, take a shower. Usually pregame meal for me it's super plain, but it's buttered noodles. So like spaghetti with just butter. And then I come to the rink and I'm prepared and ready to go. So that's about it.
It must be a New York thing, because Coach Langer likes those buttered noodles too. Not that I don't. Who doesn't? There's nothing not to like about them, right? How about superstitions? That's one thing I always ask players too, because some guys are pretty particular about the way they get dressed, or the way they come to the rink, or whatever it might be. Do you have any superstitions or routines?
I don't have I've heard crazy stories about superstitions and stuff like that players have, but honestly, mine's just like I have to put on my skates, and before I even tie my skates, I have to put on sock tape. So that's pretty much the only superstition I have. So
okay. Awesome.
Nothing crazy.
Well, last week I talked with Will Arquette, and excuse me. He too is from New York. I always talk about the small world that hockey is. It just seems like everybody seems to kind of know each other to some degree or another. Either you played against them or know someone that played on the same team or whatever. Did you, coming into this locker room, did you know anybody, from either previous teams, or have any connections where you could kind of say, hey, what's it like, or what should I prepare myself for?
Honestly, when I first came here, I didn't really, I didn't know anybody actually on this team.
Yeah.
I had heard of some names, stuff like that. I think I've heard of, before I came, Nielsen from last year, because I was doing kind of some research, I guess, on the team before I came
Sure.
here. So, but like I said, I didn't really know anybody here, so.
That's got to make it a little more challenging, because you think about the guys from Minnesota, for example. All it takes is a couple of texts, and you're in connection with somebody that knows, that's been here before or whatever.
Yeah.
So that would, a little bit of culture shock perhaps coming to the flat plains of Aberdeen, South Dakota.
Yeah.
What were your first impressions of the community?
Honestly, the community's super nice. It's the same as my town, super small, compact, so easy to get places.
Mm-hmm.
It's only from my house here, I'm only like an 8-minute drive, so that's nice. So,
Yeah.
But other than that, there's a lot of farmland too. That's a big difference.
Yeah.
From New York from here, so.
A little more wooded and hilly there?
In New York?
Yeah.
Yeah. A little bit. Yeah.
Okay. And Megan asked you this on the ice on Saturday night, but I wanted to touch on it too, because I was really actually pretty surprised at the crowd that we had on Saturday night, because of how cold it was. Just bitter cold out temps that we're dealing with right now. But I thought it might actually affect, the people wanting to get out and do things. A lot of them, I figured, kind of would stay home. But man, that was a great crowd, over 1,600, I think it was. What does that mean to you guys when you're sitting on the bench looking up at that crowd and they're going nuts for you? That's got to be a pretty good feeling to know that you've got that level of support.
I've never had anything like it. The fans here are just absolutely wild. They're amazing, super supportive. So, from the bench, looking up at all those fans, you wanna score. You wanna be that guy out there on the ice. You wanna be the guy that the fans love.
Yeah.
So, it's a great feeling all around.
I often think of that when it comes to the opposition too. When I'm looking at them going, they're looking across the ice at that, because you hear the scratch players oftentimes even before when the doors first open over where I'm at. I can hear them talking about, like, I wonder if they get a crowd here or whatever, and I'm like, you're gonna see, we get a crowd. So it's kind of comical. All right, well, I got a couple goofy questions for you here. Just nothing serious by any means, but would you rather have a terrible short-term memory, like you can't remember where you put your keys, can't remember anything, or would you rather have a terrible long-term memory and not be able to remember something that happened 5, 6, 7 years ago?
I'll do the long-term memory, because I don't know. I don't want to have a short-term memory loss. I mean, that would, like you said, like I would forget so much stuff.
Yeah.
That would not be good.
It'd make just day-to-day living a lot more challenging.
It would make life a lot more difficult.
But then you don't have those memories of your first time opening.
Exactly. Exactly.
Kind of a tough one for sure.
Yeah.
All right. Would you rather be completely invisible for one day, or be able to fly for one day?
Fly.
Fly?
Definitely fly, because I would just fly to like different places. I mean, I think that would be pretty fun.
Good answer.
Yeah.
Go check out the Eiffel Tower real quick.
Yeah, exactly.
And then buzz over to the pyramids in Egypt.
It'd be nice and quick. Go everywhere.
Can't do that when you're invisible.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you've got Austin coming up, and like I've talked about with some of the players in the previous weeks, haven't had a lot of road games, but we're hopping on the bus and headed to the spam capital of the world. That's because John Morrell makes spam there. That's why I said that. And you'll get a chance to see the Spamboni, so that's fun.
Spamboni.
Yeah.
Wow.
But the Bruins right now, as I talked with Coach Langer about 6-10, 2-2. When do you guys, as a group, start to go over video and what to prepare for with an upcoming opponent?
Mm-hmm. So basically with video, we it's usually, for a away game, we'll do it before we get on the bus. Mm-hmm. We'll watch about like 30 minutes of film on them. But during the week, we don't watch too much film, but we kind of mimic like what Austin Bruins does on like the penalty kill,
sure,
or the power play, stuff like that. So practices during the week are gonna help us out during the weekend. So
preparing for the, I guess some of the. Can't even think of the word, but some of the things that they tend to do, tendencies. There we go. That's the word I was thinking of. So, all right. Well, Austin, coming up. Since we're getting on the bus, I got to ask you: when you go on a road trip, what's something that is a must-have that Nate cannot go on the bus without?
Neck pillow.
Neck pillow.
Neck pillow. I can't go without that thing. I can't sleep on the bus without it. Gotta have it.
Man, I'm with you. I can't get enough
essential.
Pillows. It's essential, absolutely. All right, well, Nate, I appreciate you coming on. I think that's about all I've got for you, though. Great game over the weekend here, and big goal, as I mentioned, on Saturday. Congratulations on that.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, you bet. Well, folks, again, Friday and Saturday, February 12th and 13th at Austin. Puck drop at 7:05 both nights. Watch the game at Buffalo Wings and Rings in Aberdeen or on hockeytv.com. Listen to 94.1 The Rock, hubcityradio.com, or the Rock app on your mobile device. Next home games are Friday and Saturday, February 19th and 20th versus the Minot Minotauros. Corporate night sponsorships are available for home games throughout the 2020-2021 season. Call Aaron at 605-380-5852 for more information. And don't forget, Wings Weekly is now a podcast. Find the audio for this season's episodes on Spotify, Stitcher, or iHeartRadio. And for all the latest news and information on the Wings, visit AberdeenWings.com or follow us on Facebook, Twitter, or on Instagram. And once again, Nate Mann, thanks so much for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
All right, folks, that'll pretty much wrap up this week's Wings Weekly.